An Indian tech tycoon just made a bet that sounds absolutely insane. He's spending $30 million of his own money to build an AI alternative to Microsoft Office. Now, before you think this is just another startup trying to dethrone the king, this guy's serious. Really serious. We are talking personal net worth on the line serious. Microsoft Office has owned productivity software for over 3 decades. It's like asking someone to beat the Beatles at making rock music. Everyone's tried. Nobody's succeeded. But here's what's different this time: artificial intelligence. Not Office with AI sprinkled in. An entire productivity suite designed from the ground up to think like AI, to work the way your brain actually works, not the way a spreadsheet programmer from the 1990s designed it. This story matters because it exposes a fundamental weakness in Microsoft's empire. For the first time, someone's building not just a competitor, but a completely different category of product. The implications are huge for Microsoft, for enterprise companies, and for how we work every single day. And here's what's actually wild about this bet. It's not backed by venture capital with billions to burn. This is one person, $30 million of personal money, and the confidence that the time is finally right to kill Office. Meet Sanjeev Bikhchandani. He's not some starry-eyed kid in a garage trying his first startup. He's the billionaire who built Info Edge, one of India's largest technology companies, by creating Naukri and 99 Acres Classifieds. He's already won the startup game multiple times. So when someone like that announces he's personally investing $30 million into an Office replacement, you listen. Here's the market opportunity he sees. Microsoft Office is worth tens of billions annually. Billions of people subscribe to it. It's the global standard. If you want to work professionally anywhere on Earth, you use Word, Excel, or PowerPoint. But Office hasn't had a real spiritual competitor in decades. Google Docs tried. LibreOffice tried. Neither fundamentally changed how productivity works. The problem with Office is architectural. It's designed around workflows from the 1990s. You open a blank page, you type, you format, you save, you email it, repeat. But in 2026, that's backwards. Why should you manually type what a computer could generate? Why should you format when artificial intelligence could design it? Why should you organize when AI could structure it? Bikhchandani's bet is that the first truly AI-native productivity suite, not Office with artificial intelligence features bolted on, but software designed from day one to work with AI, will disrupt the entire market. This isn't theoretical anymore. So what does an AI-native Office suite actually look like? Think of it this way: traditional Office is like a blank canvas. You're the artist. You figure out everything. But Bikhchandani's new platform works differently. The moment you start typing, it's working with you. You're not writing a report, you're sketching out ideas, and the AI shapes them into a professional document. You're not designing a slide deck, you're describing what you want to communicate, and it builds the presentation. This is fundamentally different from ChatGPT writing for you. It's collaborative. It understands structure, context, and intent. Need a budget spreadsheet? Tell it the framework you want, what categories, what time periods, and it generates the template and pulls in data intelligently. Want to analyze sales trends? Instead of manually creating pivot tables, you describe the question and it builds the analysis. The technical approach is cutting edge. Rather than grafting language models onto legacy software like Microsoft's doing, he's building from scratch with large language models at the core. The entire system is designed around human-AI collaboration, not human-software interaction. The payoff is staggering speed. A document that takes an hour in traditional Office research, writing, formatting, revision might take 15 minutes. A presentation that's usually a day of work becomes a conversation. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. Imagine you're a consultant who needs to write a client proposal. Normally, you'd open Word, create a template, spend 3 hours writing the executive summary, compiling research, adding charts. With the AI Office, you open a blank document and type. Create a consulting proposal for a SaaS company addressing their customer churn problem. Include market analysis, 3 solution approaches, pricing, and timeline. System generates a complete structure. All you do is refine it. Read each section, tweak the messaging. Maybe the analysis misses something, you highlight it and say we need to emphasize their revenue impact here, and it regenerates that paragraph. No flipping between tabs to research. No copy-pasting. no formatting headaches, or consider a financial analyst building quarterly reports. She'd normally spend a full week gathering data, building models, charting results. With this platform, she describes the analysis she wants to run, show me year-over-year growth by segment with variance analysis, and the system builds it instantly from live data feeds. She spots a trend, digs deeper with a new query. The whole analysis that normally takes a week takes her 3 hours because the tool does the mechanical work. For students, freelancers, small business owners, anyone who can't afford to spend 8 hours writing a document, this changes everything. Here's where it gets genuinely complicated. So how does this actually stack up against Microsoft Office? On raw features, they are probably similar. Both create documents, spreadsheets, presentations, but the real comparison is on workflow. Office is optimized for people who already know what they want to build. You have an outline in your head, Office is perfect. You're starting from scratch, you're on your own. Bikhchandani's platform flips that. It's optimized for people who have a goal but not a blueprint. AI scaffolds the entire project, and that's worth real money. If you're a lawyer writing a contract, both tools work. But if you're a startup founder writing your first investor pitch, Bikhchandani's tool saves you hours of work and stress. On pricing, Office is $69 per year for individuals. This new platform hasn't announced pricing yet, but the bet is on volume over premium. Millions of people who can't justify Office but need professional output. Students, freelancers, small businesses in emerging markets, developers building internal tools. These segments have been chronically underserved for years. The adoption pathway is different too. Office won through inertia, everyone used it, so everyone else had to. This product needs to win on actual superiority, and that's risky. But it's also why Bikhchandani is putting personal money in. He thinks the evidence is already there. The first mover that nails AI-native productivity doesn't just get customers. It defines the entire next generation of work software. What does this mean for Microsoft? Honestly, they should be nervous. Not because this product will steal all their customers next month, but because it proves the category is ripe for disruption. Microsoft's been defending Office against competition for 25 years. Google Docs still hasn't stolen meaningful market share, but that's because Google Docs isn't actually better, it's just free and collaborative. This is different. If Bikhchandani's bet pays off, we're looking at a completely new category of software, not an Office killer but post-Office. Software where humans and AI work together as equals, not software trying to mimic how humans worked in 1995. For enterprise companies, this triggers a serious choice. Office has switching costs, training, file compatibility, integration with existing systems. But what if the productivity gains from AI-native software exceed those costs? A company where every document is automatically optimized, every spreadsheet is intelligently structured, every presentation writes itself. That's not incremental improvement, that's a paradigm change. The broader implication is about knowledge work itself. For 100 years, productivity software has been about digitizing manual processes. Typewriter became word processor. Calculator became spreadsheet, but we've hit a wall. We've optimized the digital version of analog workflows as much as we can. The only way forward is to rethink the entire paradigm, and that's what AI-native software finally enables. This is the inflection point. So if you're an organization thinking about making a switch, what should you actually do? Start small. This kind of technology is still early. You don't bet your entire company on version 1.0 of a brand new platform. Pick one department or one use case. Maybe the marketing team tries building campaign briefs. Maybe customer success uses it to generate templates. Run it alongside Office. See if it actually does save time. Then measure everything. Don't estimate productivity gains, actually track them. How long does it really take to write a document? How many revisions happen? Are people actually using the suggestions or fighting them? The transition cost is real. People resist new tools. But if the data shows real-time savings, then you scale. The second piece is integration. If this platform can't talk to your CRM, your database, your email, it won't replace Office. It'll be another tab you switch to occasionally. Real adoption happens when this becomes your default, not an alternative. So infrastructure matters, connectors matter, making it seamless matters, and finally training. This isn't just learning a new interface. It's learning to think differently about documentation, asking questions instead of doing everything manually. It's a mindset change. The companies that move fastest won't be the ones that force everyone through a training program. They'll be the ones whose teams actually want to use it because it saves them hours every single week. And that fundamentally changes how knowledge work happens. Here's what this moment represents. We are witnessing the end of the office era. Not tomorrow, not even next year. But the clock is ticking. Software that was designed in 1995 can't compete with software designed in 2026 with AI at the core. That's not opinion, that's physics. Bikhchandani's $30 million bet is interesting not because he'll definitely win, but because someone finally serious enough and wealthy enough had the conviction to make it. If he's right, and the evidence suggests he might be, then Microsoft's monopoly isn't just threatened, it's over. And the next generation of productivity software will work fundamentally differently. The real question isn't whether AI will disrupt office. It's when, and whether it'll be Bikhchandani's company or someone else who does it. Either way, the future of work is collaborative, humans and AI working together, not humans fighting with software. That's a bet worth $30 million. That's a bet that changes everything. For now, here's what you need to know. The age of manual productivity software is ending. The tools that replace it are already being built, and the race is on. Follow for daily AI news to see how this story unfolds, because it's going to define the next decade of how we all work.